Hotter Than Health podcast, a plant-dominant podcast for those looking to expand and elevate their lives. Each week, we will bring you provocative conversations and topics, entertaining interviews, and some of the biggest names in health and wellness to answer your burning questions. You will leave each episode with tangible tips and takeaways and understand what it truly means to live an energized and optimized life. Hello, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Hotter Than Health. This is a special episode. It's just me, solo, mano, and I'm excited. So this week is a nutrition and wellness Q&A, as you know, but we're doing it travel style. We're doing it travel edition, and in honor of travel, I figured I would describe what I'm seeing. Just kidding. Nobody wants to hear that. It is a beautiful Colorado sunset. I mean, living in Arizona, I definitely had incredible sunsets. I think they were breathtaking. They were the most incredible sunsets I've ever experienced in my whole life. And I think that just being out on the West Coast, Charleston's incredible. Do not get me wrong, but there's something different. It's clearer, it's cleaner, it's fresher, it's lighter. It's just West Coast or mountainside time. They're more daytime people. They love activities. Everyone here is fit. Everyone here is happy and positive and clear-minded. And I don't know what it is about the place that I'm in right now. We're in Cherry Creek, which I'm assuming is like not reality. Everything is so clear and the restaurants are incredibly healthy. We haven't waited in line for anything. It's almost just this warped way of it's essentially the easiest living that you can have. Everything is clean, everything is safe, everything is right next door to one another. So it's almost one of those Truman Show vibes where it's so perfect that you never have to leave, but then you're like, oh my God, I haven't left. Anyways, I understand that that's a tangent, but I had to explain where I was right now in Cherry Creek, Colorado. Cherry Creek, right outside of or inside of Denver, not really geographically positive, but in Colorado, nonetheless, it is 8:35 p.m., which means it has been, right, my body thinks it's 10:30. You should all know that this is a big deal. I don't stay up past 9 ever, and if I do, I'm sure as fuck not on my computer or working or doing podcasts. But tomorrow, and yeah, I'm just going to give you a little life update, all right? If you want to skip to the nutrition and wellness portion, then go ahead and skip on. But quick life update. I flew out on Sunday here for a 2-day work conference, leave on Wednesday morning. But let me tell you about this Wednesday morning flight. Holy shit. So we're about 30 minutes from the airport, right? We rented a car and we checked a bag. Each activity requires a couple minutes of our time once we get to the airport. However, our flight is at 5 a.m. Our flight leaves the office at 5 a.m. Off airport. Hello? Our flight leaves at 5 a.m., which means that we have to leave our hotel by 2:45. And I don't know if that's calculating and computing for some people. We have to wake up at 2:30, and I'm already really looking forward to that because I don't sleep on planes. So if anyone has tips, I don't have a neck pillow. I'm not buying one. I have one somewhere in the house. I didn't bring it, and I'm not going to buy another one. And I have a sweatshirt. Maybe I'll stuff in my ear, but then I get cold on planes, and I'm just fucked. Anyways, really thrilled for this 5 a.m. flight. However, I am pumped because from Denver, connect in Charlotte, from Charlotte to Boston to hang out with Sis and Mr. Tom and Baby Belle. Anyways, that's a little life update. I haven't talked much or haven't really opened up much about this part of my career because it's something that has developed it's been less than a year, and it's really close to my heart and special, and I'm not going to open up fully about it yet, but it is something that I'm adding on. I'm still doing nutrition. I'm still personal training. I just have one more job right now, but it's something that I'm incredibly grateful for There's a ton of longevity with it. It feels good and right, and not just safe in a way that, oh, it's predictable. It's not. It's dynamic. It's constantly changing, but I feel like it fits really well into my life, my energy, what I'm good at, what I desire to be better at, and it it's also good for a projector. If we're going back to human design, and I know I'm being ambiguous and that's annoying, but I'll open up more about it eventually. But as a projector, we need to take breaks. And if you want to know what your human design is, it's one of those things where you have to like, well, you know where you're, what time you were born and where you were born, all these things. And I'm pretty sure that I got the time and date wrong. Not the date. I know what day I was born. Pretty sure I got the time wrong. But as a projector, I do think, I think I'm a projector. It's all pretty spot on. Anyways, I like to work in chunks and then take longer breaks. This has been really, really great for me because I feel like everything that I'm doing right now is fulfilling in different parts of my life, and it's allowing me more flexibility and in only taking on things that I'm enjoying doing with nutrition, wellness, health, and it's making me it's reinvigorating me. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, you probably recognize that I'm posting a little bit more about tips, travel, meals, wellness, meditation, mindfulness, and overall just lifestyle, because when there's no pressure, when there's less pressure on it, and I put less pressure on myself, I enjoy it more. Oh my God, this is scary. I'm looking out these huge windows in the hotel room. It's like a gorgeous pink cotton candy sky coming in still, but there's 2 drones. I'm looking at them. They're hovered above 2 different hotels that are in front of me, but the hotels are separate enough that I can still see the amazing skyline. I can see all these things, but I'm looking at 2 drones and they're facing each other. It looks like they're going to fight. Doubt it. They're probably just taking real estate tours because these apartments are stunning. I would love to know the value of these apartments. If anyone listening lives in Denver, lives in Colorado, knows about Cherry Creek, if you know of any like timeshare opportunities, any sick Airbnbs that we need to get out here for, I'm really the vibe here is this could be permanent. But here I am sitting in 80-degree weather in the most gorgeous state in the country. So that's privilege of me to say. Obviously it's warped for me to think that I could live in 2 places right now, but I also don't like the cold. So this is basically, I would live out here for 2 months and then call it a day, but that would be pretty sick. Anyways, look into it. If you live in Denver or Cherry Creek or near this area, let me know. Shayna, no, you don't count. I'll talk to you tomorrow. But let's get into today's episode. I wanted to keep it short, keep it sweet, and really just give you all the down and dirty with how to travel, how to stay healthy. We're going to do, as I travel more, we're going to do more of these episodes because I know a lot of people listening, they travel for work and they just travel a lot and they still want to stay fit and they want to stay healthful. And I'm not saying that you have to keep on your same routine when you travel. It's just not realistic. But there are certain ways that you can maintain. A lot of this comes from digestion. A lot of this comes from regularity. That's really where a lot of this stemmed from. Some of my very first episodes, nearly 4 years ago on the podcast, revolved around how to stay regular while you travel. And this is something that so many women and men struggle with, mostly women. Men's digestion systems are like incinerators, and I feel like they don't as often have constipation issues when they travel. They have issues, of course, like regular people do, but when they travel, they're not in that state of fight or flight like women get into more often. Some women have zero issue at all. They're like, yeah, I poop like normal, even better when I travel, and that's great. But it's not the case for a lot of people. And I have noticed that I do think that I do a really good job of understanding my body. It used to be that I would get so clogged up anytime I went on a trip. If I even slept over at someone's house, whenever I was out and about dating around, if I stayed at someone else's house, well, I'm not going to the bathroom. If I missed like that 30-minute window in the morning, all bets are off. I'm not going to the bathroom that day. It's just what it is. But I think I've done a really good job of understanding my personal rhythms and tempo that allow me windows and pockets of time. Also, I would like to, full disclosure, everyone already knows this, But I don't have kids. I'm typically traveling for business or just with my partner or in situations where I do have some alone time, and I understand that's a luxury for a lot of people. Just know that I'm aware of that. And honestly, I couldn't imagine. This is going to be tough. If I have kids someday, it's going to be really challenging because I'm going to need that 5 minutes of alone time in the morning to go to the bathroom. And if I have kids that are, banging down the door, I just feel like I'm not going to be able to fully relax and just go to the bathroom. I'm sure I will. I'll figure it out. People have done it for millions of years. It's something I think about. I don't need to worry about that yet. I have no kids a brewing, but I already am thinking about my morning conference calls, which is poop for if you're new listening. Also, if you're new listening, my name is Eliza Calvin. I am your host today. We just jumped right in, and this is the Health and Nutrition Wellness Q&A episode, travel edition. I want to just give you 3 solid tips for when you travel. And this is for people always ask, "Oh, well, how do I not get constipated? How do I poop on travel? Oh my God, I haven't pooped in forever." It starts before you travel. And it's not always what you think it is. Let me explain this. Your body loves routine. So, when you're out of routine or if you're in a new space, then anything you can do to calm your body into a sense of safety and predictability and pattern is going to do you well. Meaning, if you are normally super regular, you wake up, you have your coffee or your water or whatever your routine is, and you always have a consistent time that you go to the bathroom in the morning when you're at home. But then you travel, think about what might be different in your morning routine. Are you living out of a suitcase? Are you scattered all over the place and you don't really have a system and you wake up 5 minutes before you need to be somewhere? That's probably an issue. And you're thinking, "Oh, well, I'm traveling for work or I'm traveling in a hotel, which means that it doesn't count if I immediately get on my phone in the morning," which I'm definitely guilty of it too. I'm not perfect, and also that doesn't, not being on your phone doesn't make you perfect. But it's your body does need to be in a relaxed state in order to have that regular conference call in the morning. FYI, yeah, I'm still looking outside and there's still 2 drones. I don't get it. Who knows? Maybe they're looking at me. Have you guys ever seen Voyeurs? Feels like that. Anyways, where am I? Hello? Okay, Colorado, pooping, unpacking, and oh, yes. It doesn't make you perfect if you are not on your phone in the morning. But if you're one of those people that doesn't get on their phone typically, or has a glass of water before coffee when you're at home staying regular, then that's what you need to prioritize when you go to bed. If you set up some type of maybe routine for the morning, even if it's just having a glass of water and a bit of salt in it, if you are like me, but having a glass of water set out for the morning that you can chug before looking at your phone. And again, you're in a new space, you're in a new territory, new sights, new smells, new time zones. You still want to stay off your phone for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes if you can. And I know you're in a hotel room. You're like, "Well, what am I going to do? Do I just turn on the TV?" No, you don't turn on the TV. You wake up. Maybe you stretch a little bit. Maybe you just stand there and drink your water. Maybe you just suck it up, stand in your own silence for 10 minutes. And if that's really a problem for you, then maybe more work needs to be done. All right? If you've never heard the saying, man's largest problem is that they cannot sit quietly alone in a room by themselves, which I totally get. I mean, coming from someone who constantly has a podcast playing or music or something or some kind of stimulation, I'm working on it, which is why I have been really loving breath work or a meditation in the morning. And y'all know I've been meditating for a number of years, but because shut up, Liza. But anyways, I have been, and it feels really good. I do the Joe Dispenza 23-minute morning meditation a couple of times per week. And if I'm feeling like, if I don't have the discipline to do that morning, I'll get something in. I've been using an app for breath work and meditation. And a lot of the meditations are really just body scans and mindfulness and breathing techniques, ways to calm anxiety, ways to wake up, stay alert, refocus. And I really like those because they're tangible and they have a lot of different times. But I like at least a 5 or 10 minute one in the morning, because once you get into the first 2 minutes, it goes by really quickly. And I would recommend doing that in the morning. I think that that is a huge way to calm your nervous system, which is going to, if your body was in a stress state, trick your mind into turning off the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight, and bringing you back to parasympathetic, which brings you more into that rest and digest state. So your body is naturally more inclined towards producing cortisol in the morning, which is normal. The sun rises in the morning. You're naturally going to produce more hormones that stimulate you because you have to get up and seize the day. That was when hunter-gatherers had time, because it was daylight. That was their key time to go hunting. So we're producing more of this hormone in the morning. But if you have the ability to harness that and turn it into almost a practice of channeling it and remembering that that's not always anxiety in the morning. Sometimes it's just that natural feeling a little anxious as soon as you wake up. And then instead of letting that rule your day, we all know that feeling when you wake up and you're like, oh, I automatically have anxiety, and you think, oh my God, I'm an anxious person, which sometimes that's the case, but other times it is an opportunity to say to myself, okay, is this a little bit of natural anxiety? Let's check this out. Then you go do 2 or 3, 4 minutes of breath work. I'll share with you guys the app that I'm using after I use it for a little bit longer, but I've really been liking it a lot. And they did give me a code. I've been randomly posting it on social media, but I want to give it a little more try first. I've really been enjoying it, so I want to give you guys the best info and testimonial that I can. But the opportunity you have to take yourself out of that sympathetic nervous system, put yourself into parasympathetic in the beginning of the day, you're still going to have the energy. You still have the natural cortisol, which is going to give you the energy to get your day going. But then you have the calmness and the clarity after the meditation. And if you're like, well, I'll just fall asleep, get up, turn the light on, sit on a chair or sit on the floor, get your back straight. Can we just stop complaining about being like, yes, of course you're tired. Like, did you go to bed at midnight? Did you go to bed at 1, 2 a.m. because you were watching Netflix? I'm sorry. Then let's start with square one. Let's aim for 7, 8 hours. If you can. Of course, I understand people are busy and things happen. I'll probably not get a full 8 hours tonight because I'm doing this, but I know that that's a one-off, especially when I have to wake up at 1:45 the day before. Oh my God, kill me. Anyways, having some semblance of a morning routine is going to be huge. The next thing, that was the longest tip of my life. Oh my God, let's wrap these things up, Liza. I was really circling the drain there for a while. I'm sorry. The next thing that I want to say is I'd like to shout out the past couple of hotels that I've been in, because they have had, in hotels, sink water or water bottles that you buy at the store and bring in are kind of your only option. Or if you're like me and if you don't have water fountains all around, you go down to the hotel gym, you fill up the water bottle that you brought yourself, bring it back up to the room, and consistently go and refill the water bottle in the gym, so that you have filtered water. And some cities that I'm not familiar with, like, I'm not going to drink all the water out of the tap. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. This time, the past couple of hotels that I've stayed at, there have been water stations and water fountains in the hallways of the rooms. And I just want to say, I don't think that I have had any amenity in any hotel that I have appreciated as much as that. I genuinely don't really give two shits about an ice machine. I mean, it's nice. It's I'm sure it really is helpful for a lot of people. Like, don't get rid of them hotels. But the water station, I just don't think that people realize how impactful that is. And I hope to God that more people take advantage of that. Ask your hotel, hey, are there water fountains around? Are there water fountains on each hotel floor? Because a lot of newer hotels, or any hotels that have recently updated, have done this. Hell yeah, fill it up. I've got two 28 ounces right here. I'm going to sip one of them tonight because I had a bunch of water at dinner or after my dinner. And then I'm going to finish off the other half of that in the morning. And then I'm going to knock out my greens juice in the morning. So I'll do my Organifi greens juice powder in the other 28 ounce. And honestly, like this hotel, I'm sorry, they just genuinely just killing it. I'm just so impressed by this hotel. Cherry Creek, you're just doing it right. This is the Jacquard in Cherry Creek. It's a Marriott. Amazing. Chef's kiss. That's tip number 2, is making sure that you have water in the room. Let's not let it be an excuse. A huge reason why people get stopped up when they're traveling is because they like, oh, well, I just get so dehydrated. Yes, it is an extra practice. It's like anything. You have to make a little extra effort. So if you are at the airport, you buy one water bottle and you continuously fill that up throughout. Make sure you're drinking water on the flight. Flights, picture this. If you're on a 2-hour flight and you didn't drink any water on that flight, just imagine that you have just gone triple the amount of time without having any water. However long your flight is, we should be, if you're not drinking water, triple that amount of time. That is how dehydrated your body gets and how much in a state of fight or flight your body gets unknowingly based on radiation, high altitude, all the stressors of flying that come naturally just with being in airports and all the logistics. Your body loses so much water in the air. You gotta hydrate on the plane. Start there. That is your number one. If you followed me on Instagram, you know that I will travel with a glass water bottle often, and I'll have a teaspoon of chia seeds sometimes in the bottom of my water bottle. I won't fill it up because then they make you throw it away at TSA, but a teaspoon of chia seeds in the water bottle. Take the empty bottle of water with you through TSA pre-check, and then fill that up, and then it's like little digestive balls that you're drinking throughout the entire flight. You're gonna feel great. I promise you it will help to flush things out. I've been doing that for years. It's great. And I'm glad that people are on the trend of the internal shower. I think that maybe they were talking about it on the Skinny Confidential. I mean, I absolutely adore all their guests. I felt pretty cool when they were talking about the internal shower, which is like a full tablespoon or 2 of chia seeds in water. But I'm like, guys, that is gel. So much water. I do a full 32 ounces and then half a tablespoon. I think that's plenty. That's personal preference. I don't think I need to be doing 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. I just don't. I want to enjoy it. Okay, I want to enjoy my water. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is unpack your shit. I don't know what your bedroom is like at home. I don't care. Mine's not perfect, but things have a place. When you get to the hotel, genuinely it took me 4 minutes. And that was hanging up like dresses and blazers, taking shoes out. That was putting away workout clothes. It was taking my makeup out. And I've even gone so far as to take all of my skincare or facial care, hair products, whatever, and put them out on the counter, lay them out in the way that they're set up for the morning. And then putting the bags in a drawer in the bathroom or underneath the sink in the bathroom, because having those things laid out makes me feel more like I'm at home, and it's one less thing for me to worry about. Steve Jobs wore the same thing every single day so that he didn't have to use his threshold of good decision making throughout the day. And I'm a broken record with the good decision making threshold. You have a certain capacity of good decision making habits that you have throughout the day, and let's say you have 50 good decisions that you can make throughout the day for yourself, whether it's a workout or water or anything like that, you're wasting your good decision making habits on what you're going to wear that day. Where's my toothbrush? Where's my hairbrush? Oh, shoot, I meant to get this out of my suitcase and bring it into the bathroom so that I have my moisturizer for the day. If you're wasting a giant chunk of the good decision making opportunities you have in the morning, then that is why come nighttime at dinners and at happy hours or whenever we're ordering the fries, we're having all the desserts, all the chocolates, or we're just eating more than we may have anticipated, which again, not a big deal, but if it's all the time, then you are you are causing more inflammation for your body at a more regular basis. And I'm not saying these things are not cool once in a while. That's totally fine. But we got to find a little bit of even playing ground. And if you have the ability to put some of your morning on auto, so have the greens powder out in the morning, have your morning routine, makeup, water set out, know what you're going to wear the night before and actually put it out. Don't just like think about it in your head, have it out. You don't have to think about it. It's second nature, and you can use those good decision making opportunities for, okay, maybe instead of me just getting a whole thing of fries, we'll get fries for the table and we can all have some. Or maybe instead of getting a Coca-Cola, you're getting a sparkling water and some fruit, or something along those lines. You're making those small decisions. Or if the table, half the table wants dessert, half the table doesn't, or one person does, two people don't, you're like, oh, okay, we don't need it tonight. All these little things add up, and I'm telling you, they will pay you back in dividends, in you being able to poop on your travel, on you being a little more fresh when you get home. A lot of it's like, okay, we go during travel and work, but then we get home and we're ragged and we have to use all that time to recover. I don't want that much recovery time. I mean, I'll take what I need, of course, but then I want to be able to go move my body and go for long walks and work out. And I want to have energy to go to dinner with my boyfriend, or to go wake up early and go to the farmer's market. I want my natural energy. I am a naturally energetic person. Not necessarily a social person, but I am a naturally energetic person. There's a difference. Oh, that felt really good. It's 9:01. The sun has set. These drones are still battling. I have no idea what they're doing, but it's gorgeous out here, and I'm just going to hope and pray that maybe they're filming something for YouTube. Maybe Gary Vee's down there and he's interviewing people in cars about what they do and what they shouldn't do, and I don't know. Who knows? Don't you love using your imagination and making shit up? Anyways, right after I get off this podcast, here's genuinely what I'm going to do. And this isn't blowing smoke. I have a book. I just started reading this book called 3 Women, by Lisa Taddeo. And I've plugged it so many times. If you're in Charleston, go to the Village Bookseller, go with like 20 or 30 minutes and just tell them, hey, if you're into reading, tell them kind of what you like to read, or just say, this is the kind of person I am, and they will have the sickest recommendations for you, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, autobiography. I go in there and I'll spend $67 to $70 at a time. It is amazing what books have done for me. If you're not that big of a reader and you want to be, and you maybe want to stop scrolling on social media so much, stop watching TV so much, or you just want to maybe work on falling asleep, highly recommend checking out the Village Bookseller. Or if not, head on to their website too, because they have good book recommendations. It's again the Village Bookseller in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. But I'm reading 3 Women by Lisa Taddeo, and it's honestly getting to like really raunchy, sexy, horny parts, and I love reading it. I feel like it helps me fall asleep because there's 3 different sections, and during the raunchy ones I'm like, ooh, don't want to go to bed, but then kind of the more of a neutral tone, I'm like, okay, this is where I can kind of chill. Anyways, that's what I'm going to do. I am going to rinse off, get the hotel or the day off of me a little bit, not wash my hair. I did that this morning. I am going to get out my clothes. I'm taking my own advice. I'm going to put my sneakers down on the ground by the door with socks in them. Socks in them. That's a big deal. I have my workout outfit ready. I have my water already prepped. I'm putting my Organifi greens juice powder next to it. And I use the travel packets when I travel, but I used to just put in baggies, or I would put like 3 or 4 servings of the greens juice powder in a water bottle and travel with it. And then I would just shake that out every morning. But with the travel packets, it's been super, super helpful. You should be able to find them online. They do sell out quickly of the green juice packets. But if you're not traveling a lot, then I highly recommend checking out the green apple flavor of the green juice. It is so good, and I cannot wait for them to come out with travel packets of the green juice powder. I also typically bring some of their protein powder with me when I travel for snacks throughout the day, or I'll bring like an RX bar, and then I'll have some of the protein powder on the flight so that I don't get like a hunger stomach ache, because I'll try and not eat a huge meal before I fly, but I also don't want to get a hunger stomach ache or have zero energy and crash from not having had any food. So the Organifi protein and the Organifi greens juice powder, I'll put that out tonight. Y'all saw on Instagram, like I genuinely have it every single morning. You can use my code HTH. I will put the link in the show notes. You can also still follow me on Instagram. I have a whole highlight on ElizaG_wellness for the Organifi supplements that I use. My boyfriend, he's obsessed with the chocolate protein because also a lot of people complain, a lot of my clients complain about having stomach issues and bloating and stomach aches and feeling like really, really full after using a protein powder. This one does have digestive enzymes, which I've really been into, and it's been almost a year that we've been using them, and I'm still just loving it, and I can't wait to go home and have my healthy hot chocolate. And it's the chocolate gold too. But those are, they're all-star products, you guys, and if you haven't tried them already, then this is the time. And I'm going to do a giveaway soon, but I'm not sure of what. But if you do go onto Organifi.com, use the code HTH, and they don't offer a 20% discount anywhere else. So this is the biggest discount. Also, if you do a subscription base, which I have it set for every other month, which is perfect for me because sometimes I don't use all the product in a month. And I also, so you don't get charged every single month. I think it's every other month if that's an option. But check that out. And I think you also get an extra 15% off of these products. And I just have to say this genuinely, with a nutrition background, with a background in having tried a ton of products, if you're spending $20 on a whole tub of greens powder, don't buy that one. Don't do it. They just ground up a bunch of bullshit and probably dyed it with green and didn't use whole or organic or anything ingredients. I wouldn't trust it. It's challenging to find one that isn't around $50-$60, so that's why I really want you guys to use this discount. I love Colorado. It is beautiful here. I want to come back in a sick ass onesie with like the cute snow bibs, if I can pull that off. But honestly, when I get off of a snow mountain, I have like insane helmet hair but still have flyaways, and everything's matted down to me, and I'm not cute. I'm not like, oh my gosh, my cheeks are all rosy pink, my nose is pink. I'm like sweaty mutton chops. Things are untucked. I have snow coming out of my pants. It's like I look like a varmint that just came out of the snow, which is fine with me. I'm not trying to like hook up with a bunch of dudes on a ski lift, but it would be nice to feel cute and take pictures. Anyways, that is neither here nor there. If Moon Boots wants to sponsor me, or if anyone wants to send me any sick snow gear to wear, that would be great. And then I can take a little trip and just say thank you a bunch. I hope everyone has an amazing rest of your week. By the time you listen to this, I will hopefully, knock on wood, that's the plan, be in Boston, get to see baby Bill, and eat oysters, and spend time outside. I'm going to try and do my first Pilates class in Boston with my sister. Or not Boston. She's outside of Boston. She's in this is how she describes it, and it's so cool. A quaint, picturesque, sleepy oyster town, which is basically just a chiller version of Nantucket. It's more of a neighborhoody vibe, and everyone there is so nice. And it's one of those places where there's 3 restaurants and 2 ice cream shops and a bakery, and it's a hit or miss if they're all open because, they're like all local people and local families that own them, and you're like, hey, we're tired today. We didn't come in. It's just so cute, and we're going to do Donut Friday. And oh my God, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want to jinx it. Knock on wood. But I'm in the hotel room. I'm going to close these blinds, get naked, get in bed, and prep my morning. Those are all my tips for today. I have so many, but you'll just have to keep coming back for more. Please make sure you subscribe to the podcast. It means the world. And not only does it mean something to me emotionally, it really helps It really truly helps if you subscribe. It's not like anything changes, nothing gets sent to you, you're not charged. It doesn't do anything except for help me. So I really appreciate it. If you're listening on Apple Podcast, hit follow if you haven't already, and if you're listening on Spotify, hit follow. Leave a review if you can on Apple Podcasts. Again, means the world if you mention oh my God. And if you're still listening, then that means you're a real one. If you haven't written a review, please mention Dear Media, because I am trying. This is still the goal, and I'm working and not weaseling, but I'm nosing my way in. It's like a puppy trying to dig a hole, and it's slowly getting there. But with all of your help, it will get there faster, and then we can have more guests, more free shit, more. It just would be great all around. Anyways, mention Dear Media. I'm ranting. I'm rambling. It has been a week of a day, and I'm just so grateful to be where I am. Thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you next Thursday.